right, Huber.
Yo.
The other day, I got to sit in on a preview, Discord preview, so I didn't get to play. Just kind of like a
scoped it out.
Overview, scoped it out for Ease 10 Nordics.
Ease 10. Ease 10. You'll blow the transaxle. Sorry.
Yeah, this very long-running series that is still a little bit under the radar in some ways. You know, there's some fans out there.
For sure.
But this series has been going since the 80s. I really, even though I'd heard of it growing up, I never played until the last game, Ease 9.
Ease 9.
And really just, got into it and just dug it. It was just
I remember.
such a great...
I totally remember.
Quick feeling.
Yo, what is this
Skull
and Bones shit?
Yeah, so this one's you've got a ship in this, and a lot of other
ships are in right now, Blood.
Yeah.
Ships are in.
Yeah, and one of the things that's interesting about the way that they've kind of developed this series and sequels and stuff is there's not this continuous storyline necessarily. The idea is that the main character Adol, he's left journals of all his adventures, and so each game is another journal that somebody's found. So they connect, but they don't necessarily all the gaps aren't filled.
It's a different journal each time someone finds, or from a different writer.
No, they're all his journals that he's written.
Okay, got it.
It's a different chapter of his journeys, right? A different location.
Yeah.
And so even though this is the 10th game in the series, they're saying this takes place not too long after the second game, after Ease 2.
Okay.
So there'll be little nods and things that are in there. People will make references, but they're saying more
mostly
for it's it'll make you smile if you remember that or you recognize that, but it's not going to be I don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they and the Ease world is kind of almost like a fantasy abstraction of with a lot of real world counterparts. And so this is a place called the Abelia Gulf, which is they say is this based on this area of northern France.
Sick.
And this is kind of there's the Normans coming in, and then you got the original habits, and there's that conflict, but then there's also these these kind of undead beings called Griegers.
Grieger.
And then what happens is that there's this area has this mana that's there, and there's this girl named Karja who can natively use mana, but for some reason in the story, you get bound together. There's this mana string between them, and that kind of
buddy cop.
Yeah, so that kind of sets up your gameplay because in the
Uneasy Alliance,
the past few games, you've had this whole party of different characters that you get introduced to, and you control 3 at a time in battle, but then you can swap freely between them all.
Yeah,
and in this, it's it's really focused in. It's you and Karja. And
I like that focus.
Yeah. And all of your abilities and stuff are things that you do together.
Cool.
And it's, as you can see in the dungeon combat, so this surfing thing here where you're going across kind of like Sonic, grinding on the rails.
Hell yeah.
That's one of your mana abilities. It's that little surf ability.
Yeah.
And there's also a grapple kind of thing. So you go out and grapple towards distant objects or grapple towards enemies in close distance. But one thing that, I was saying, I really appreciated about the last game is the way that this combat system always feels it's an action-based combat system, and it always feels very light and engaging and I don't know what it is. There's just something about it that actually feels pretty good.
Nice.
And so you've got your basic combat, and then you can see on the right in the footage there's the different skills that pop up on cooldowns.
Yeah.
And so basically you just hold one of the shoulder buttons and activate those skills, and then you can slot which ones you have in there. At any time, you quickly swap between your two characters, and they're saying that she's a little bit on the heavier side in terms of her
her
moveset and stuff. And then
I really like that they're tethered together. It looks very cool when they're fighting, and you see the tether.
And that's the thing, is there's another mode that's called the duo mode, where you are controlling them both together.
Cool.
And they have special duo skills that are only available in that
Awesome.
mode.
Very cool.
That setup. So So it's pretty cool. It's pretty different way of working through that system, and then doing your different skills and things like that. And then the ship is a big part of this now.
Yeah.
So there's ship combat in between, like when you go to different areas and like you go to explore different islands, but sometimes like they're showing this area here where so like see like there's this bubble around this island.
Yeah.
So basically you have to like clear that bubble. Like so you're going around and taking out like these pillars that are like generating the force field, but then there's also other ships attacking you and all of that. And so one of the things that they do with like a lot of these missions is that you get ranked at the end, and so you get different rewards based on your rank. So
gotta get that XP.
So different, but not just XP, like actually specific items.
Nice. Crafting materials and
rare weapons and
can
things.
you replay the?
Yeah. There's a way to replay
Got it.
to go back if you want to try to get a higher rank on something.
Cool.
But so you've got the ship combat stuff, which we can see a little bit of here. And I should point this out because there's going to be people who don't know what's going on that are like, why does this game look like a PS2 game? So this is something about the last game and this game that I actually really appreciate is that Nihon Falcom, they know what their audience and their budget limitations are.
Yeah.
And so it's like they make games that, okay, maybe it looks like a PS2 game, but it's a PS2 game that runs really well and feels really nice and fluid and still like has like a good art aesthetic and everything going on there. And they actually do like put a lot of attention to detail. The voice acting and stuff and the localization, they put a lot of attention to detail in that as well. So it is one of those things where like maybe at a glance you might be like, wait, this looks dated or whatever, but no, like seriously, like get in and give it a shot because
once you
it's pretty
settle
good.
into it, you start to notice the visuals a little less, I should say.
Yeah,
right?
and the ship combat's like one of those things where it's like it looks even a little bit more limited than the rest of the game, but there are some areas that they've shown where there's a lot more vegetation and stuff than in the past and all of that.
Yeah.
But with the ship, so so you control it like this, but it's also like your hideaway kind of thing.
Fun.
Like you've got like all of these different cabins and things and shopkeepers and stuff, and you essentially throughout the game assemble and collect a crew and more people end up in your ship.
Those are great goals to have in a video game, dude. Recruiting for your ship.
So even though you don't have like this big party of characters that you control in battle,
your ship is like a party member.
Your ship itself is like a party member in a way, but then all the people on it.
That's awesome.
There are plot lines and developments and side quests and things and all of that pulls into it.
Can you miss those recruitments, or is that part of the main storyline?
That I am not sure. I don't know if like there are any like missable. There probably are some that are optional or whatever. Yeah, I would guess, but I'm just guessing on that.
Cool.
But it does seem like that they actually stress that like doing these quests, it's like the reward is not necessarily the thing you get out of it. The reward is getting to know this character better, and finding out more about their story and where they're from and all of that kind of thing.
Hell yeah, that's the best reward.
Yeah. I'm trying to see.
Like, dude, a game that gives you that as a reward, just like the character stuff, like that's what it's all about, Blood. Like so many times I'll just find myself doing side quests because it's like, oh, I'll get the XP. I'll get the crafting materials, and it's like, mashing through the dialogue. But it's like, man, when you're actually like compelled by the side stories, that's a great game.
Yeah. And then the skill system, there's the skills and stuff that you unlock, but there's a thing
That's why I liked Final Fantasy 16 so much. Sorry.
Right.
Because those side stories, I know a lot of people complain. They're a little, the what you were doing wasn't great or the rewards weren't that great, but so many of those storylines in those were so good. So, yeah.
So they did give a shot of some of the skill system stuff here. I don't know if it's in here, but there's a thing that you do for like kind of like powering up your characters where you have like it's kind of like a diagonal line or whatever that goes through different levels where you insert different mana seeds. And so there will be like red seeds that are, related to strength, and yellow that are related to luck and all of that. And multiple of the same color in the same depth give you extra like perks of like, damage mitigation, burning foes after. And so it's like
Burn them.
So really like trying to, and one thing that they said was really nice about that is that you can reslot those seeds whenever you want.
Great.
So play around.
And only having to worry about two
Yeah.
characters, takes away a little bit of that overwhelming feeling, when you got to gear up and get everyone's skills. There's like 6 party members, that can get a little intense.
Yeah. And then I think there's like parts 2 where they were like using like some stuff in combat where she would be able to like freeze like an area of water, and like the ice would be like enough so that you could like jump up to the next level.
Fun.
And similarly, he could like charge an attack and like burn away some like dried brush or whatever. And then see, I got some stuff from when we had like a Q&A afterwards, which they like generously just like let people like ask questions until we're out of things to ask, essentially. But they do say there's no co-op; it's single player only. But I guess like there's some guy that does like the PC ports, and like I guess he had added co-op to like some of the past games.
Whoa.
So it's like whenever, I don't know, maybe eventually when it comes to PC, like
someone will mod it. Yeah,
they'll mod it in there. And then I'm trying to see what else there is.
The co-op attacks seem really cool, Blood.
Yeah, they said
they look really like flashy and fun.
Yeah, so with the crew and the characters that we're talking about, 15 to 20 around distinct characters.
Dope.
To get to know there.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Makes you care about your ship more too. It's less a tool and more of a home.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and you had a home base in like an old tavern in the last one, where everyone was kind of hanging out. So it's similar to that.
Sweet.
They encouraged, you're gonna love this. This is your kind of thing right here. They encourage you to play on hard when you start.
Sick.
You need to knock it down.
Hell
but you're gonna engage
Try it
more
out. Yep.
with the systems in the gameplay if you
it.
try it out on hard. Start there.
I talk a lot about difficulty, but what it comes down to is finding that sweet spot.
Yeah.
To have a little bit of fear for the enemies, especially bosses, and just the mechanics. Like you said, engaging with the mechanics. Like, make me use my arsenal of tools, not overwhelmingly so, but let me have an advantage by using those systems. And that's what hard brings out of me as a player is like, okay, I gotta really use my stuff. I like that instead of just mindlessly mashing, which can be fun too, of course.
Yeah.
But yeah.
There is ship customization. You can do colors and sails and things like that. They said if you're going for 100% map completion, it'd be like 60 to 70 hours.
Oh, that's not even terrible.
If you want to streamline it, it's more 35-ish.
Chill.
So, and then trying to see what else there is here. I just talked about that with the freezing stuff. After you beat the game, there is a boss rush that unlocks.
Heck yeah.
There's also New Game Plus, and there's an Inferno difficulty.
Whoa. So they're kind of all about their combat system here. It sounds like, geez, Inferno difficulty, telling you to play on hard. Wow, they must be really happy about it, Blood.
Yeah. Another thing they're saying, focusing on 2 characters.
Yeah.
They said that gave them more room to focus on more character animations and interactions and things like that.
Smart.
So they said bosses.
Yeah.
They have unique finishing animations for what your characters do for the final blow.
Fun.
So that's pretty cool too.
Yeah.
And then the game comes out October. October 25th.
Coming up.
PC, PS4, PS5, and Switch.
Heck yeah.
So, yeah.
I love it. This is a household name, Ease. I unfortunately have not played any of them. On the podcast we were talking about Mana, I haven't played any of those. So I'm just glad we're in the patented 2024 year of the RPG, where we are getting just these iconic franchises. I mean, Persona, Final Fantasy, Dragon Quest, Mana, Ys. Like, this is epic, dude.
Yeah.
So cool.
And like I said, just, yeah, one of my favorite things about the last game, and it seems to be true here, is just there's just something about the feel and momentum of just getting around that world and slashing on dudes. It just feels really light, and that, like, yeah, like, I'm just having a good time doing this.
You just want to keep getting in battles.
And the music is really great too, and all of that. So I'm looking forward to the soundtrack on this.
Nice.
So, yeah, it's good stuff.
Awesome.
So look forward to that. Thank you for watching. And if you enjoy everything we do, consider becoming a patron. Head over to patreon.com/easyallies and throw in $5 or whatever there. And also check out our podcast each and every week. We'll see you soon.